Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I support him over Kamala.
Okay. Why so?
Well, the main reason for me is going to be the Crypto Genius Act that he implemented,
Hmm.
or at least he supported. Uh, so yeah, this might be a little bit unique to my situation, but I cared most about the kind of support of crypto, and I didn't feel like the Democrats were really pushing regulation there, super hard. So that's for me main reason why I voted for Trump, and the fact that the Republicans seem to support crypto regulation a little bit more.
Yeah. So like, I mean, what regulations do you want to get rid of with crypto? I'll just ask that.
No, we need to have like regulation implemented.
Oh, so
Um,
what regulation do you like that was implemented?
well, the Genius Act, and there's that isn't that a
What
to
regulations
like
did the Genius Act
stable
impose?
coins, um, on stable coins.
Yeah, which one?
The Genius Act, like, what do you want me to?
Yeah, which regulation did the Genius Act impose?
It regulates stable coins. You're asking for like a
In what
deeper
way?
information.
In what way does it regulate stablecoins
All right. Well,
that
I'm
you
gonna
think
have
is
to.
good?
I think it's good to just push for regulation in general on cryptocurrencies.
Okay, do you think Democrats don't push for regulation on crypto?
Yes,
They literally do. That's just
that's
not
not.
true.
That's not. They were not pushing as hard on it pre-election, and that's like
Wait, I'm sorry, they agree with it, but that wasn't something talked about really by either side.
it was definitely talked about. Trump said we're gonna make Bitcoin, or America, like the crypto capital of the world, and like stuff like that. Like,
That's wait, saying he's going to make crypto the capital of the world does not mean that he's going to deregulate, or I mean to regulate it more. Because
yeah,
isn't
well,
crypto in of itself deregulate, like I mean what's it called, not deregulated, with no authority, right? It's decentralized. So if you regulate it, aren't you centralizing it to a certain extent?
no, I don't think so. The underlying foundation of it is decentralized, but then if you put like a jurisdiction on top of it, obviously you're going to need some sort of compliance, but that still gives the individual the opportunity to like migrate countries if they want to use it in a little bit more free way. You still have the ability.
What I mean, I don't know what you mean. So you're saying use it in a free way, like so essentially, like the point that we're talking about is that like if you don't know any of the regulations that you're talking about imposing, right, specifically to better the conditions, then how would you specifically say that it was such a great job on behalf of Trump, and then also say that it was
The
Trump in support
creation
of
of
that
payment
and it not
stablecoins,
Democrats?
the creation of payment stable coins is a legal category in it of itself is an act of regulation because it provides stability. That's like the definition of regulating something.
I understand that there were regulations, but you have to know what regulations you're imposing to know whether or not they're effective in the first place. Not all
I
regulations
just named
operate.
one. I named the biggest one.
You didn't you just named like there was regulations on stablecoin. You didn't name the specific regulation.
Dude, the Genius Act in and of itself, it's an
That's not
intrinsic
one
property.
regulation. You just said that there were regulations on it. That's not a specific regulation.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The imposition of stable coins as a legal category is in and of itself a regulation on cryptocurrency.
Okay, so if you're adding them to a legal category, then you're saying laws would apply to it, right? That doesn't mean that there
Yeah.
was a particular regulation. Okay, sure. That was already the case. There's nothing new with this policy that did that. It was already that way.
Um, I guess. I mean, it defines payment stable coins as digital assets redeemable for a fixed value, and that's illegal. It was not a legal category previously.
So there you go. That's just consumer protection. That's all it is.
Well, okay, there's, I
like other
mean,
forms of consumer protection, like we have through the FDIC, right, and other sorts of currency. So that's not
you don't
necessarily
think
like
that's a regulation?
it's not a like a limiting of the currency. It's to help out consumers.
Yeah. I would say that falls under like partially the definition of regulation, but maybe we
Can you
can.
define regulation?
Yeah, it's like keeping something at uh like a nominal value.
Okay. I think that there's going to be a distinction there, right? Between
Yeah.
regulation and between the way you're using the term there. But if you want to find a way that you could use it in both contexts, that's fine.
No, it's
Um,
fair. I mean, I'm not going to know the political contextual definition as well, but um, yeah, I could give some other examples of regulations that have been imposed in the cryptocurrency realm.
yeah. You also need to give something that's unique specifically to like the Republican Party, right? So
I
you can
think
just,
that's
for
unique.
example, if
You
you,
can say what you want, but they were not pushing
is it a
hardcore.
partisan policy?
I mean, it very much seemed like it because they were
Really?
not pushing for this. Yeah.
Really? So Democrats didn't vote for the bill?
Well, some Democrats did. That's you can't say that.
So
There's always
it was
crossover.
bipartisan, right?
Well, dude, by that definition, you could say everything's bipartisan. What vote
No.
in Congress?
There are
How okay?
there are plenty of things passed
How
without the
many?
other side in some
How
contexts.
many? Like 5% of them or less?
So, it was drafted by a Republican and a Democrat.
Okay. Well, I would say on average, it was highly more pushed by the Republicans. And dude, I wish we could agree on that because it was so visible. It was so obvious. I'm a complete like I didn't even vote 2020, but then I have a lot of my
Okay.
wealth tied up
How
in
about this?
cryptocurrencies.
Could you give me like a policy of Trump's that you actually like that would be unique to him, not like a bipartisan policy?
I mean, I think that's unfair because I gave the Genius Act,
That's
but
bipartisan.
I don't think it's bipartisan.
It literally is. Can you define bipartisan?
Yeah, it's something that both parties would support, and I think there's a major gray area there. What are you laughing about? That's the exact same,
Both parties voted for it.
dude. But you could
There
you're
was
gonna get
102 Democrats that voted for it
okay, but where's the
in the
cutoff
House.
line? Is it 10% Democrats? Is it 5? When does it become bipartisan versus not? You know, there's a gray area there.
Dude, if there was over 100 Democrats that voted for it, that's bipartisan legislation.
Okay, is that the definition? Then I guess I have to give you another. So I gave you something that the Republicans push for harder. That is a good reason of why I support Trump over the Kamala
That's not a
Biden,
good reason to support Trump, though, because it was bipartisan.
but it was more heavily pushed forward by far. I could all right. Well, we can move on then, but
Trump didn't talk about it much more. He just said making crypto the capital of the world, right? That's not like pushing for a specific policy.
yeah, but he also announced like a strategic digital asset reserve and stuff. That's a policy.
Strategic Digital Asset Reserve. So that is a specific policy in terms of having a digital asset reserve. Um, I, I guess has he passed that yet?
Um, let's see.
And do Dems support that?
I'm not specifically sure if them support that.
Because I'm pretty sure there was like a claim, like from the White House that they did this, but or like that they're going to do this, but they haven't done a policy yet.
Okay. Um, well, I can give you a bunch of policy. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to be bipartisan or not, but it's like, do you not still think something bipartisan is more pushed by one side than another? And if so, how is that not, add to my credibility for voting for the Republican
Wait,
candidate?
already, according to this policy, the United States government already holds the significant amount of BTC of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and now it was seized from the Silk Road, and now it's been like officially.
All it says is that it's not implemented a policy to maximize the Bitcoin strategic position as a unique store of value in the global financial system. So it's just claiming it, not that it's changing it specifically.
Well, I mean, you have to put, you have to claim it, like governmentally, before it's actually going to take any effect. And
What?
when Trump's saying we're going to become the crypto capital of the world, start a strategic Bitcoin reserve, Kamala didn't say that. She didn't.
Okay. And are you willing to vote for Trump because of that?
Uh, I think that's a huge reasoning. Yeah, it major shifted.
What
I don't think
benefit
it's
do we get from this?
well. So something like a decentralized store of value. It's the first way in human history where we can transact peer to peer, value to value.
No, no.
With
Shut up with this bullshit. You're just happy
why?
that it's
What are you talking
increasing.
about,
No,
dude?
you're just happy that it's increasing in value.
That's not true. I was explaining to you the value of it
So then you
because
want
you
to
could
so you want to create a store of value for a decentralized currency, therefore centralizing it to a greater extent.
a store of value for a decentralized currency.
Yeah.
The decentralized currency is a store of value. It's like pure
No,
digital
you're
gold.
not
Why wouldn't
listening. I
you?
meant like you want to
Yes, I
create a
am.
stockpile of value from the United States government, right? Of a decentralized currency. So you want the government to invest in a decentralized currency,
Yes,
right?
because at the very baseline, they have to piggyback onto this currency. They're not the ones that insure it, like the FDIC. They have to. They have to basically FOMO in, because at the base level, the power of value transaction belongs to the people. So yeah, the governments can come in and buy it, but they don't control it like they do the fiat dollar.
You mean like through regulation?
Yeah, and also like
Weren't you advocating for more regulation as well?
they don't have the ability to uh, print any more Bitcoin. So I think that kind of puts hands in the power of the people. So you can't devalue, your grandparents and great grandparents' wealth over generations. And this is way more prevalent in like person or third world countries where their dollar might not be, it might not have like much backing, and their country might be corrupt. It's not going to be
You
an
mean
easy
like
time.
ours?
No, dude, our country is. Are you're saying we're
Corrupt.
corrupt?
Yes.
I mean, every
Very.
organization in history has corruption. It's inevitable.
Well, we have more
But
corruption now because of Trump.
Yep.
I mean, you say that, but then at the same time, I'm telling you that the way in which you can like basically currency is a way to stack value against one another, right? Like to have like a relative leaderboard for value, basically. And
Hey, Parker, can I just really quickly, because I don't want to take up too much space and I got like a million things going on right now. What he is talking about, it's really fun. What he's talking about is the fact that there is a bill on the floor that is going to create a national Bitcoin, a crypto coin reserve, which is going to take the gold in Fort Knox. It's going to take the gold that we own and actually force the United States government over a 10-year period to buy a minimum amount of Bitcoin. The reason why this is such like a big thing is because all these ultra wealthy people currently hold Bitcoin, right? But they can't sell the Bitcoin too fast, because if they do, then it loses its value really quickly and they'll lose a lot of money. But if you have a guaranteed buyer, the United States government, who is required to buy a minimum amount of Bitcoin, then it ensures that the actual cost of Bitcoin will not drop, while also letting the sellers, those ultra wealthy people, be able to sell it for whatever they want. And it's using the taxpayer dollars, the actual gold that's held by the United States government, is what they're going to trade for this Bitcoin. So they're literally helping these ultra wealthy people liquidate the Bitcoin, which they have not been able to do, and actually add real money to their wealth. So this idea that creating a Bitcoin reserve, like a crypto reserve, it's only Bitcoin, and it's only going to benefit the people that have a shit ton of Bitcoin.
That's kind of like what I brought up earlier with like that you just want the price to go up, right? That's kind of like what it seems.
Not at all. I've explained many times that it's the best form of value transfer in human history.
Hey,
And
Well,
what
in what
about all
way?
the people?
now you're arguing against Bitcoin when you just said that it was a bipartisan issue. So clearly,
Wait,
it's
wait,
not.
you just misunderstood. You just misunderstood the perspective,
No, I
right?
didn't.
No, hold up. You just misunderstood. You saying that it's us saying it's bipartisan doesn't change the fact that we could disagree with it.
Mm-hmm.